Our senior U.S. correspondent Mike Wagenheim reports UNRWA is determined to keep Palestinians in refugee status even if they ask to have it removed. Take a listen.
There's a line in a classic rock song: you don't have to live like a refugee. But if you talk to UNRWA, you actually do have to live as a refugee. Palestinian-American digital creator Mo Gawi recently went to an UNRWA office in Beirut and said a family member wanted to be taken off UNRWA's list of refugees, having acquired citizenship from Great Britain and no longer in need of UNRWA's recognition or benefits. According to what Gawi told I-24 News, the UNRWA staff in Beirut first pushed back on the idea, questioning the benefit of an UNRWA refugee asking to be delisted. Then he was told the family member could have their name struck from the Palestinian Authority registry, but as far as coming off the refugee list, it's not possible. There's simply no procedure for it. Was the staffer misinformed or deceptive? Well, we went straight to UNRWA and asked, and they confirmed it, telling I-24 News that, quote, registered Palestine refugees can only be removed from UNRWA's register upon their death or in case of false or duplicate registration, not upon request. We were told that the UN General Assembly requires UNRWA to provide assistance and protection to Palestine refugees until a just solution to their plight is reached, and that UNRWA maintains registration records and issues identification documents for Palestine refugees, crucial for their access to services and the legal recognition to which they are entitled. Well, why can't someone have personal ownership over whether they are called a refugee, especially those who were born into that status and never requested it? UNRWA told us that global protection principles and privacy standards do not recognize an unqualified right to the erasure of personal data. The personal data of refugees may be deleted when there is no legitimate basis for the processing or where the personal data is no longer necessary for the specified purposes for which it was collected. The best UNRWA could do, we were told, is that it may, in exceptional cases and on the request of the beneficiary, deactivate their profile so that they are no longer actively maintained on the beneficiary list, so that the refugee or any spouse or dependents will no longer be able to directly access health, education, and other humanitarian relief services from UNRWA. However, deactivation of a profile does not affect the underlying registration of that refugee, nor does it change their legal status as a Palestine refugee under international law. Our critics of UNRWA have accused the agency of purposefully inflating its refugee rolls for political reasons and for financial reasons. The more refugees, the more aid money that comes in. Gawi told us this is simply another example. He noted to us that even upon a family member's death, one needs to be proactive in informing UNRWA, meaning that even Palestinians classified as refugees by UNRWA could very well remain on their rolls even after they pass. It's important to note that the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, which handles all non-Palestinian refugees globally, also doesn't allow refugees to relinquish their status simply upon request. But it does have specific ways that one can and must drop their refugee status, including acquiring citizenship in a safe country. But if you're an UNRWA refugee, it doesn't matter. You and your children and grandchildren will remain refugees until the UN decides you're not any longer. You simply don't have a choice. Reporting here from the White House, Mike Wagenheim, I-24 News.